Slavic Release. What is it? Some problems with Archer's paradox and so on. So first of all, what is Slavic Release? You have the arrow on the right side when you're a right-hand archer, and like you would shoot thumb release, but then you draw with these two fingers and you hold the arrow in place with your index finger. And simply my personal opinion, others have different opinions. So you simply put the arrow like you would shoot thumb release, then you draw with three fingers. Of course you could do now your Mediterranean three-finger draw, but here you still need to support the finger in front with your thumb until you reach full draw and you shoot, or you do string twist, which is not or hardly doable with a warbow. So that's why I simply hold this arrow here in place, then I don't need to support the arrow in front, and you shoot simply with these two fingers drawn your arrow like this. So, and now does Archer's paradox matter in the same way when you shoot Mediterranean arrow on the left? So what happens is when I have the arrow on the left side and I draw with three fingers and I let go, the string has a certain movement and the arrow gets a certain action. So we need to consider that when we shoot Mediterranean, that the spine is always the same, that the arrow doesn't wobble or not wobble too much or not too less. So this is what we have to consider there, and you see it when you shoot. When I have the arrow on the right side and draw with two fingers or three fingers, the string goes the other way. So maybe there is the same problem, or maybe not. We see then in a slow motion if this has a difference. For sure you can say, and when you see thumb release and I do my katra, spine does not matter that much. Now when I shoot Mediterranean, I have three arrow on the left. I have not a lot of choice to do katra. I could do this inward katra, which is counterintuitive, because what happens when I stand in full draw and shoot, this arm goes back, and when this arm goes back, look what my bow hand is doing. It always goes to the outside. So when I have the arrow on the left side, like, you know, then I need to unlock the left arm from my right shoulder, because otherwise this movement would happen and would ruin the shot completely. On the other side, when I shoot now Slavic, what happens is the arrow goes out of the way, the bow goes out of the way from the arrow. See, when I shoot, and then I have a naturally follow through. Bow is out of the way, no problem, like I would shoot thumb release. Same principle applies with Slavic Release. The bow goes always out of the way of the arrow, which makes your life a little easier when you have not the right spine. Arrows is a martial art, you know that. What you could see in the slow motion is that the arrows on the left side, when I shoot Mediterranean, fly in a different way than if I would put them on the right side. So there was less wobbly because this arrow is right spine for it. Look at this one, bends a lot, and look at this one, even stiffer, bends a lot. Slavic on the other side. Bends a little, bends a little, but now katra comes into play. Now I use katra and Slavic. No wobbly. Less wobbly. Less wobbly. The difference. I can apply a slight katra, a slight string twist, and then I don't have the problem of what they call Archer's paradox. Accuracy test Mediterranean. Oh. And accuracy test, Slavic. How do I gain speed in shooting? Well, that's simply a matter of, first of all, the right way or a fast way to knock and not looking at when you're knocking. How do you do that? So when you shoot Mediterranean, of course there are now many ways. As you see, when you shoot horseback, then you can hold the arrow like this. You see that you put the thumb inside, then you go through it, go forward again, and then you simply slide backwards. Here you see it better. Then you simply slide backwards, and here you knock automatically. You can draw and shoot, right? This is what you can do. The other way is you hold the arrow like this when you shoot 3 fingers. So you pull the arrow out like this, push it forward, push it back, then you have it. Then you simply need to bring this finger up, and you can shoot 3 fingers again. So the other way, this way, would be a little more beneficial when you simply bring the knock here somewhere along your thumb. See that? Then you knock automatically, have your 3 fingers and can shoot, which goes very fast. I simply don't like the idea of having the arrows here, and I need to pull them here through, but we had this already. So another way would be to hold the arrows always at the end, no matter which style you shoot, and you create with your thumb and with your index finger a V. And then it doesn't matter where I get my arrows from. I push them through, and with this V, I make sure that the string aligns on the arrow. Forward, lift my thumb quickly, pull back, and now no matter which style I shoot, I have my 3 fingers, or when I shoot thumb release, I bring it here, knock, and come with the thumb around. Same principle, even when I have Slavic, I can go forward like this, knock, and then draw like this. When you have a knocking point, it depends where your knocking point is oriented. We have it usually that the knocking point is above your arrow. What you want to do is, when you knock a little lower, and then you just raise the arrow on the string until you reach your knocking point. Others, like Mihai, they knock above and then simply push it down to their knocking point. So up to you which way you shoot. But what you need to practice is, first of all, develop one of these faster ways of shooting or loading. Develop one. Look at it, what you do, that you have control. You have control here over the arrow. You have control here over the arrow. You push forward, you pull back, and you shoot. Grab the next one. You first look at it, what you're doing, that you know what you're doing, and then you can speed up without looking at it anymore. So the goal is simply not looking at your arrow, only look at your target. That's the goal. And you shoot this way. So I even see now there's a lot of horseback archer photos just in the wrong moment, and they look there, they sit on their horse and they look there what they're doing here, and you don't want to look away from your enemy or from your target. So simply learn it to knock without looking. It's not so hard. Once you develop one way which works for you, see, you don't need to look. You only have the orientation of your knock. And this is now all done with standard knocks, so I didn't use speed shooting knocks or something like this. The other way around, if you shoot thumb and you have the arrows here, same way. You grab the arrow at the end, control, control. You don't have to look at it anymore. Easy peasy, but you need to do it slow first. Look at it, what you're doing, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, and then don't look at it anymore, do it slow, and then speed up naturally. And I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. When you still knock like this, you will never manage to get anything faster out of it, because you always put the arrow in here. You can do it when you shoot Olympic. I don't like it because the arrow points up, and imagine something happens, you know, you do something wrong, oh, arrow comes off and flies somewhere. So you don't have control. There's your bow and there's your string, and now you need to put these two together fiddly. Fiddly, like no matter how I shoot. If I shoot Mediterranean, I hold the arrow, I hold the string, push forward, pull back, have it, let go, shoot, easy peasy. Thumb release, I hold the arrow, contact with the string, push forward, pull back. I don't have to worry, and when I don't have a knocking point, I simply get it in the feeling of where I have to have the arrow, and then it's easy. Slavic, same, easy. So you don't need to look what you're doing here, you need to feel it, because you always want to look at your enemy, that the enemy doesn't do anything which you don't like him to do. So the question is, how do you do it when you have the arrow some kind of a quiver like this, where your points back? You simply come down, grab the next arrow, bring it here, strike back until you have the end of your arrow, make contact with your string, push with these two fingers forward, lift your thumb, hold the arrow again, pull back, and you have it. Easy peasy. Same works with Slavic, obviously, when you shoot like this, or 3-finger Mediterranean arrow on the right side, Slavic. And with Katra, I always shoot more accurate. So of course you can do this now shooting 3-finger Mediterranean, but then you need to fiddle the arrow through here, hold it, make contact with the string, works in the same way. Unless you have a quiver on the ground. See, and then you can do it without looking, and it works. And what I explain now is mostly for arrows up to 30 inches, maybe 32. Of course you don't want to do this with Manchu arrows because they're 36 inch long, and there's no way to do it. If you want to speed it up, look, when you have the arrows like this, on the right side, don't have to look at it, knock, shoot. Doesn't matter if I shoot my thumb or Slavic, see? Works both ways. Works not so nice when you shoot Mediterranean, because you need to fiddle through here, but you can develop it. I simply don't like to have the point of the arrow close to either my bow, my string, or my hand. I always have it out of the way. I like this more. I mean, obviously it has a reason why the Ottoman shot like this. First of all, you're low profile. You load, you point, you draw, and you shoot. See, easy. It's always the same movement, doesn't matter. Always the same. You don't need to look at it. They are proven, they are used, and it makes sense. I mean, try another way. Try Ottoman style and then fiddle the string in here. It's not going to work. It's not very well done. What you always need to have is first have the arrow on the bow. Contact to the string, push forward, pull back, shoot thumb, or the same contact, contact, contact. It's always the same. But of course I don't want to go now in is it historically correct or not to shoot like this. It works for many modern archers with a field tip on it. Works, no problem. You only need to still have kind of contact here. Here you hold the arrow with your bow in place. So it's not that something is dangling around. You simply hold the arrow here in place, push forward, pull back, fine. Most probably not historically correct, but it works, and whatever works for you, fine by me. This way is so much more user-friendly. and faster. Speed comes naturally, don't rush it. First look what you're doing, then don't look at it, feel it, feel it. Go very short distance that you don't have to worry about your target, learn it. Repetition is key in this one, do it very slow. Speed comes naturally like you start playing a guitar in the beginning, and later ding, 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 ding. Okay, that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you in the next one.